Okay. All right. Can't see you, sweetie. Can't see your pretty face.
He did that on purpose.
Of course not. All right. Greetings, greetings, peace and blessings. We are the Mohammeds, the residential tourists. 85 to Africa. We are living in the after. Yes. Thank you once again. We are always so very humbly grateful for you to take a moment and check us out. Tune in and allow us to share with you our experience as we journey on this beautiful, beautiful continent.
Can they hear us?
I hope so. I didn't do a mic check. Let us know, please, family. Please let us know if we are
Gosh, it's
audible.
good sound.
Good sound. Wonderful, wonderful. As you can see, we kind of switched up our background just a little bit. We thought we'd come get comfortable in the living room area. So it's beautiful. It's very comfortable. And as I was saying, we are grateful for you. We appreciate you. We love being here in Nairobi, Kenya. We're having a great time. And there's some things that we'd like to be able to share with you that we're planning that you already know, but we're moving closer and closer and closer to that day. So we're excited, man. We're really excited. However, before we move forward, of course, we must acknowledge you, our beautiful and wonderful subscribers. We are grateful for you. We thank you so very much for your subscription and your continued support. And I don't know what's going on with my phone where it keeps light darkening up, but no worries. We're going to keep on moving. And so your subscription is grateful and your viewership is well appreciated. And the members, of course, we had a discussion briefly with one of our supporters. He always has good ideas, and he gave us a good suggestion that we can be able to share something really, really good with our members. So you are always in thought and not without thought. And we thank you so very much for your membership. And we would really, really be remiss if we did not acknowledge our agents that are out there who are trolling and all of that stuff there. All right. We're not going for the okie doke. All right.
So, John, I have a question for you.
All right.
Out here in Killaleshwa.
Already. We got
Did I
already.
say it right?
Killer
You
Leshu. You
heard how I
did.
said it, right?
Finally.
Here's the question. Did you get your ticket?
Which John is this?
John, Design and Build with John.
Okay.
Did
all
you
right.
get your ticket for the event? Y'all.
Hold on. You know we gotta set the stage right.
Okay.
You gotta set it right.
Said it.
All right. Y'all ready? Let me set the stage.
I hope it's not a clap button.
No, no, no. It is good news.
Oh God.
The good news.
I thought you did something special.
We
Get out
got
of
good
there. Get out of there.
news. All right. And all right, that's enough of that. Okay, so good
I
news.
thought he did a video.
No,
Or
no, no,
did you
no.
have the flyer up or something?
Not yet, but it's gonna be. All right. I'm gonna let you go ahead and share as you went on and right ahead and you acknowledged one of our viewers inquiring about the tickets for.
Oh, he's the one that paid. All right, good. So we're going to see him on Sunday.
All right.
And we're talking
Inshallah.
about the big networking event this Sunday. We're excited about. It's going to be bigger than the last one.
Sure enough.
It's going to be, oh,
There you go. Go ahead, please.
bigger than the last one. We have presenters from all aspects of living in Kenya for expats, from banks, immigration, land, insurance. We have performers. We have in our Caribbean band playing this time for dinner. We're going to have some cultural experience. And this time, we're inviting not just expats, but also why Kenyan,
Why
why
Kenya?
Kenya, why Kenya
Why Kenya?
to come and join us. We want to bring a true networking, but a mixer, a mix, a mixer.
Okay.
My
That's
mouth is dry. I don't know.
mixer.
A mixer of sorts. But we're going to have a great time at a beautiful Hermosa Hotel. If you have not reserved your spot, Be like John and hit that PayPal or your Mpesa. Get your tickets done today because tomorrow is the last day. We're turning in the numbers. So get your tickets, your register. I need some water, y'all.
There you go. Sparkling water for you.
That's nasty.
Registrations, I think is what you were trying to say. To make
Yes.
sure you're registered. Uh, Aiming for tomorrow to go ahead and close it on out. However, if unfortunately you're not able to make this particular one, our intent from the very inception has always been to make this an ongoing, reoccurring function because as diasporas, as you know, as we spoke and talked about it last weekend about building the diaspora community, and that has become our primary effort, if you will, by way of course, the residential tours. However, in addition to that, a dealer's relocation services and a dealer's relocation services is really, really doing well by the grace of Allah.
Yeah, y'all wearing me out. But let me tell you why this event is important.
Sure, please.
Just hung up a phone call today with a sister that's been here for a while.
Mm,
She's been in all the other expat groups, and those groups primarily will let you know where the best tacos are, where the next party is.
oh God.
But anything of substance that you need to survive in these Kenyan streets, you're not getting it in those groups. So
Some a little bit.
I didn't.
Okay. All right. Carry on.
So she's in our group now, our WhatsApp group, and already she has shared that she's having a hard time.
Mm,
She keeps bumping her head. She out here by herself trying to make things happen with her business.
mm,
Funding didn't go right. Immigration didn't go right. All kinds of different things happen. And I'm like, girl, you need to be there Sunday.
mhm,
Because every single issue that you have, we have a presenter, an
mhm,
expert that's going to
mhm,
be there that can help you every step of the way.
mhm.
And that's what the network is about. That's what coming together as a family, as a unit, and building our community
Mhm.
so that we don't have these issues and that we're able to help each other make it.
Very true.
Because this is different. This is foreign land here. And I don't care how long you've been here, there's still room to grow. And
Mhm.
if you've been here for a while, why don't you come back and help us newbies? Help guide us, help show us the ropes, show us the way, so we're not bumping our heads and burning our hands trying to figure out how to survive in Africa.
Sure. And to that, we were recently made aware of some diasporas who have been here in Nairobi in Kenya for like 20 years. And from their mouth to the mouth of the individual that shared with us, to the ears of the individual that shared with us, is that out of those 20 years, they've met only two,
Two
two
expats out
expats.
of 40,000 that's here.
But that's the totality. That's not just black expats. That's so,
Regardless,
but
expats.
regardless, so that's very alarming. It's
Yes.
really very alarming, and especially and more specifically, in particular, we the black expats, the diasporas, our primary focus. We can't have that. No, we have to. We can't. And it's
It's
like
a new day.
right. It's a new day, and this is in part a bit of what it is that we want to be able to discuss and share this evening or this morning, wherever you might be, morning time, and we want to be able to just kind of just share and talk about that a little bit. All right, but before we do, you have something else on that point?
Let's just say hello to everyone
All
that's
right,
out there.
let's do that.
We got Kenneth Frederick, as always. Liz, all of y'all are so freaking loyal. I can almost count on RT family to be there. That's scary for me.
In a good way, scary in a good
That's
way.
scary. Like, wow. I don't have a clue. Look, this is all to God because I don't know
Oh, of
why y'all,
course.
y'all chime in every week. Half the time I'm stuttering and fumbling all over stuff, and he's cracking his little corny jokes. We just try to do our thing, and y'all come back.
We appreciate it.
So we got Liz, Alex, Romeo. Sister Cheryl is on.
Super.
So- of course, John is on a one day. Um, Jonas. Oh, we got Anna
Anna
Harris.
Harris from, oh, it's
Yeah.
early. It's real
Yeah, it's
early where
early.
you
She in
are.
California.
Oh my gosh,
So
that's
she
really,
woke
that's
up.
a beautiful thing. Thank you so much.
Just to
Wow.
chime in. I don't understand.
Yeah, we're grateful.
Man,
That's
Jay,
beautiful. We got my brother. I got a fellow FOI on here, brother Vaughn.
where?
Brother Vaughn X. Thank you so much, good brother. We appreciate you joining in, brother. And brother is doing his thing. He's trying to make sure that the word, the good word, is definitely spread far and wide. And I salute you, sir. Thank you so very much. It's always good to see an FOI.
I
Uh,
don't see him.
well, you have to look in the comments, but thank you so very
He
much,
invisible.
brother, for joining in. We really appreciate that very, very much.
But we got Sister Camila on. Pauline is on.
Okay.
Um, Jay is on. Sister Show said they love us.
Well, we love y'all right back for sure. Brother Vaughn, no, this is live, brother. It's not a pre-recording. This is live.
Because it's on your page too. Okay,
Yeah,
I
so
got you.
it's this is live.
Because I
So
was like, is he seeing something? Is he making stuff up?
no, no,
I
no,
don't know.
no.
What do you
No, no, I'm not. I wouldn't do that. I'm not making anything else. So
look?
greetings.
We have a niece that just talks on the phone to herself,
She gonna be mad
and
at
she
you.
be saying, "Hey chat, hey chat." Do your children do that? And be having long conversations and tell us that it's normal. So I thought he'd have met hey chat. 'Cause I'm
No, I
like,
don't know that.
where do he see Vaughn at?
No, not that. No, not brother Vaughn Mohammed. Brother Vaughn X. Vaughn X. Vaughn. I should say.
Okay.
I may be pronouncing it right. Vaughn X. Brother Vaughn.
So we got
Yeah.
Charles. That Charles FOI, Charles in Africa.
Brother Charles in Africa.
He in
Yeah.
love with Rhonda,
Salute to you as well. Yeah,
but
Rhonda.
he
That's good.
he
We
ain't been there long
listen,
enough. Live
listen,
longer.
listen. We just hold down
What
the
is it?
fort and each strategic points in
We'll be
East
waiting for
Africa.
you.
It's Rwanda, here in Kenya, and in Uganda. We'll make our way to the Congo and all of that.
Mhm.
So that's a beautiful thing.
Brother Ron Banks is on.
Brother Ron, always good to see
Yeah,
you,
he'll be
brother.
coming soon.
Oh, inshallah. That'd be
Hmm.
great. That's beautiful.
And we have a niece like that. It's Facebook Lives for the epidemic. Yeah, hey chat, but
Say what now?
their niece be doing that crazy stuff, talking to
Oh,
chat.
so it's a
So
thing.
chat is the invisible man,
So that's the thing. That replaces the imaginary friend. Is that what that is?
but you have to look at your phone and
Gotta
do
look
it.
at. Okay, so it's not. Oh, we don't know. I guess we reached that point, that age point.
All right.
I guess we've crossed over.
I'm almost at the halfway point, so maybe I need to get a chat.
Maybe.
So there
So
we go.
all right.
Brother Charles said see, Rhonda's good for the retirees. It is. I mean,
Listen.
you must be retired age,
No, brother.
taking two steps,
we about
walking pretty
no,
slow.
brother and I, we probably about the same age, I'm sure.
Mm.
No, I'm not that. I'm not at
But
no
you
retirement
still
age.
do zip lines. You
Yeah, I
still
do.
walk safaris. You
Right.
still
So
will go and not really.
anyway, we're not
You're getting
going.
old too, Charles.
No,
You can go back to Rhonda.
I plan to. I plan to. I plan to make my way back to Rwanda. Make some good friends there, and I like to stay connected, right? So, so what we would like to do real quick, in the way of the announcements, we want to um, just give a an acknowledgement and this is to show our um, to share, I would say, along with our Kenyan family. It's an unfortunate that their General Francis Ogola, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, who was the chief of defense forces. Unfortunately, on Thursday, he and about 9 other top military officials were killed in a helicopter. I'm sorry about the helicopter crash. And so we would be remiss if we did not, acknowledge and share with the Kenyan family, the Kenyan family, our condolences to their families and to the Kenyan people. You know, um, I can't imagine being a general. I can't imagine that. However, I did have take a moment to look at the funeral, the portion of which his son gave remarks, and one of the points that he stressed and made was that he loved Kenya and he loved the Kenyan people. And he um, made it well known, and he loved the soldiers. And he wanted to be known that, the Kenyan, when he ever, if ever when he passed, that the Kenyan people knew that he was for them, right? So let's put him up here. This is the General Francis Ogala. Um, he, in fact, was the chief of defense forces for the Kenyan people, and we salute him. We salute him and we honor him, and we pray Allah will be pleased with him. And whoever steps in his shoes, it probably will be some big shoes to fill, but hopefully he can pick up the reins and carry on. All right. So we had to do that for sure. So, all right. So I got to give you a reminder. Got to give you this reminder.
You could just say it.
I can, but it's better
This is
this
the
way.
show, say it.
Please hit the like button. We really, really would appreciate if you hit the like button. We'll give you a moment. You can go and hit that like button right now. Hopefully, we are worthy of such.
How many people is on? 48 people.
Yes,
So we can get 48 likes. That'll be great.
48 likes. Yeah,
That'll make some other people come on.
maybe so. Maybe so. We'll see. Anyway,
So we have some major things going on this side of the tracks, y'all. We are talking with big people and big organizations that are willing to reach out and help the expats, to the diaspora, to come home and to be comfortable. But we're going to make some announcements later on in the week, or maybe closer to the event, and share that news with you, or what we've been working on. We've been in meetings all week. We've been, man, worn out, trying to make sure that this weekend, this event is memorable and it has substance. And that's what's very important, is that someone walks away and leave with something valuable that's going to help them on this journey. So with that, you ready?
we're ready. Let's dive in. I just looking at the comments. I wanted to make sure that we be able to share some of those comments there. And thank you, Sister Pauline, for your expression of your condolences, and J.E. as well for your prayers to the family of the general. And I'm hoping that maybe someone in that particular association will be able to see and will appreciate that as well, for sure, for sure, for sure. So we want to be able to, let's just go ahead and get into it. We want to go ahead and just kind of just talk about. I know you've seen the advertisement, the title, removing the door of no return. And let me start this way. Let me share something with you. I don't know. Can y'all hear that? The children out there playing. They have a good time out there playing. They're having a good time. So as I was preparing, and we were preparing for this moment right here, um, I was looking at some things. I had some things I was going to share as it pertains to that, we know, that door of no return. And the things that I came across, it was pretty moving. It was pretty moving. We never had the opportunity yet. She's not going to do it, but the opportunity to actually visit and revisit, if you will, that particular experience by being on the grounds where our ancestors were taken away from. And for me, I'm gonna tell you, the more I thought about, even prior to preparing for this moment here, I always wondered about the process. We learn about it, but it's kind of like a skip over. Okay, they came, they captured us, and they took us away. But what I always wondered about, because if you've ever seen a picture or actually been there, some of you may have already been there and seen Elmina slave castle. It's humongous. It is a humongous slave castle. And something like that doesn't you it's not a voila abracadabra and it's
Mm-mm.
there. It takes time.
And for this one, because stuff just not adding up.
It right.
So, like reading Who Built the Door of No Return, they said it was Portuguese
Portuguese.
soldiers,
Portuguese,
masons, and carpenters.
right. The Portuguese 1814 about 1482. The Portuguese are gangsters, man. They are I mean, all the whole slave trade thing, they are the initiators. They was up and down everywhere. And they started. So the Portuguese, then the Dutch came, they said, we want some. And they tried to, because if you look at any fort or any slave castle anywhere, even here in Kenya, in Mombasa or in Zanzibar, they had it set up to in a way that they had cannons lined up, like they were really serious that if anyone was to look to try to come and get a piece of the pie that they was in, they was going to fight for it. So the Dutch came and they said, okay, we want some. So they came and they, so they eventually rid of the Portuguese and the Danish and the Swedens, and almost every part of Europe had a part in, right? So it's a process of building something of that magnitude. So it just made me wonder about a lot of things. I won't go into it right now, right? So when I was looking at this information and I was actually being able to witness via this technology that we have of individuals recording their experience being there, and that's, I guess, the closest that I could get at this point to actually being there, but seeing these dungeons and the tour guides and how they were explaining the process, and not getting too far deep into that, but I didn't realize, leading to my point, I didn't realize just by doing that research how it would affect me, to the point my wife, she doesn't even know this, to the point where yesterday I walked into my room, our bedroom, and my spirit was so heavy. I mean, it was heavy. And as I walked into the closet, I was like, I keeled over and broke down, just like weeping, and I couldn't stop. I had to get myself together because I didn't want her to see me cry for the second time in 12. But I broke down, and it bothered me, and I had later mentioned to her, said my spirit, and she didn't know why. I said, I'm heavy. My spirit is heavy. And I didn't even really know why. I really didn't. And I say all of that to say is that 400 years later,
So wait, before you get to that part, before you bring it to the later part, I want you to remember something because it's just starting to think about everywhere we go, every country, wherever it is that we go, for some reason, we always get led back to the dungeon, the slave trade, the moats and the castles. And when we were in the DR, you remember that with the big cannons, and
yeah,
we were up there, and they were
all these
telling us
places.
how they had to had a underground. Was that the DR or Jamaica? Had the
That was
underground,
Jamaica, the Runaway Bay.
the Runaway Bay, right,
Runaway
right,
Bay.
right. And
Yeah.
they underground in caves, running to Cuba,
Mhm.
trying to get away from the slavers,
Mhm.
to the capturers, they called it, to go to Cuba. And so they would hide in a cave and not move and be freezing
Mhm.
until the slavers would go past and can't find them.
Mhm.
And then we went to the DR, and we're looking at the doggone, and it was beautiful. We got pictures sitting on cannons and looking over the ocean at how they fought off or was trying to fight off the capturers. And then we come
Not the
to,
capturers, but go ahead. They were trying to fight off. fight off others who wanted a piece of the pie. But go ahead, sweet.
No, the first story. Not now. Afterwards they were
Oh,
using it for
right,
other stuff,
right.
but that was the initial buildup of it. And then, of course, in Tanzania, you went to you see the same thing. Mombasa, you seen the same thing. Why is it that everywhere we go, we had to fight to keep people off of us,
Mm,
away from us,
mm-hmm,
leave us alone?
mm-hmm,
Why do you think that we should be subservient to you?
mm.
And it's crazy that the door of no return, when you're reading it, and they gave it that name because they believed once you walk through it, everything and anything that relates to you will never be returned. And they were right.
Well, so this is this is where we are. We are to prove it wrong. It's not, a I don't believe. And I want to address Brother Igbo in a moment, but it's not, I don't believe, a coincidence that those of us who have returned or have had at least that calling, I'll put it that way, to return to the mother continent. Circumstances, of course, coming from the States may have been the agitator, but there are so many other places to be able to go. You can go to Canada. You ain't even got to go too far. You ain't got to leave the continent, the North American continent, but pretty much the same there. You can go, but so something, that motivated many of us, if not most of us, if not all of us, deep down inside, for us to return back to the mother continent. And we've said it before, the journey in transitioning from wherever we're coming from, whether it's America, the UK, the Caribbean, or wherever it may be within the diaspora, the journey in the destination is not necessarily when we put our foot here. We don't think that. And as we are experiencing living on the continent, we are experiencing living here, although it's only been these two countries, we are realizing because of how far removed we were and how far removed we are from our four-way and our traditional four-way and more ways of the African culture that our ancestors were a part of, then to me, it's almost like an answer to either a prayer or a yearning of those ancestors that wanted to come, they didn't want to leave. They wanted to come back. So for me, having that moment, because it was different. It wasn't like I'm sad, right? No, it was something that it seemed like something that jumped, and I don't want to sound spooky at all, but it was like something jumped in my body, in my spirit. My stomach was hurting and it made me buckle over. And I'm weeping and I'm crying and I can't control it.
And
And it made me and it made me think about how the DNA
mhm,
works. And that DNA, and me witnessing and seeing these small corridors and listening to this tour guide talk about how even before our ancestors were even brought onto the ships, they were in holding places. They were in tight holding places for months,
yeah,
for months.
it's tight, smaller than coffins.
And it's like and it was like by the thousands. It was just crazy. Millions actually died before they even got on a slave ship, according to the history and the tour guide. That there were many who died even before they got onto the slave ships. And then, of course, when they got onto the slave ships, it was much the same. And then they were on the sea for months on end, depending on where the drop off point was. And I just can't imagine, right? And I'm sure you much the same. And our sister Liz, she pointed out how she went there and she was unable to do the steps.
You know, and I know this is going to sound weird, but 2009, my grandmother was still alive, and Barack Obama gets appointed as a president. And the first person I called is my grandmother,
Hmm.
and she's in tears and she's crying because never in her day could she have ever imagined or witnessed that we have a Black president. That was for our day, her day. But can you imagine people before her grandmother, her great grandmother, or her grandmother, I believe. I don't feel like counting all the greats, was born on the plantation.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
You never told me that.
Her father, my grandmother's father, was
Mm.
considered mulatto. He was half white, half Black.
Mm-hmm.
But he was very fair skinned, fair. And so he was considered passing. And there's a whole story with all that. But he was considered passing. This is the story she told us throughout the years. So it's not that many generations back that her memory or her DNA can touch the plantation. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, her father was born on the plantation. So imagine the tears of his mother and his grandmother, how they yearn to go back home, be amongst their people, to be able to say their real names, to be able to practice their real culture, their real religion. And so it's not too far-fetched, because the greatest highlight of my grandmother's life was that we got a Black president, a selected Black president for 8 years. Now, we'll go forward to what you were saying. I remember being in Rwanda at when we first got there, and we had the patio that overlooked the mountains. And I remember crying many times, wondering, why do my eyes get to see this? It was like, it struck me deeply. I remember one morning very deeply, like, why do I get to see this? At that time, of course, we had our mothers, both of our mothers were there. And I can imagine the moments and the thoughts that they had. Sorry, y'all. This is us. This is real life.
This is live. This ain't pre-recorded. This is live.
It's real life.
Get a doorbell.
We got Globo or Instacart coming. Drop off some noodles. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we give it to you raw. We don't.
Sorry.
We living. This is living.
But when we were in Zanzibar for the first time, when we first came to Africa, and we were at that weird little hotel. But I remember even then looking out of the Indian Ocean and getting stuck, because I'm like, why did we get to see this? Why are we here?
Right.
How are we chosen? And if you know anything, we struggle life forever, always. But yet we get chosen to see and be a part of this exodus. And neither one of us knew why. We just knew that it was an imprint on our spirit to come. I'm done.
Oh yeah. But you're absolutely right, sweetie. I mean, that is, again, people have their reasons, why they're here and why they come, but you can't refute the fact that you feel that. You really feel that. And so, we know the story. We know the pain. And I listen to a lot of the YouTubers, right? I won't name names, and this is nothing negative, but I listen as they give their account of their experience being here in Africa. And I take a step back as I'm viewing and listening, and I take a deeper listen. And a lot of times, what I'm hearing pain. It's a lot of pain. It's masked at times, or sometimes it's just straight direct. And that pain like comes from somewhere. That pain comes from a place probably, they may not even realize or know. And I say that for a fact because I'm just now coming to that realization myself, and my wife as well, that is coming from a long, 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 long line of existing pain. And there's a responsibility, I believe, because when does the pain go away? When and how will the pain go away? for a long time, we have been trying this and that to medicate, not really, but you understand what I'm saying, the pain away. We've tried, we've tried integration, man. We've tried that. We've tried so many, we've tried protesting, we've tried marching, we've tried
Begging,
everything.
crying.
We've tried all of those particular things, right? And to me, the final trial is, you know what? Let's just bounce. Let's just go back to where we were taken from and let us pick up where we left off and take it further, not just get complacent, but take it further. But the thing about it is, we got to remove the door. We got to remove that door of no return. I'm not talking about the physical door.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about those mental,
Mm-hmm.
emotional barriers, those cultural barriers that keep us from clasping hands and fully and completely embracing one another, that we can unify and we can progress and we can live in a world society. But we start where we start, in a society here on the mother continent, that the sons and daughters of Africa can rejoin and live with the children of Africa who have been here. But we can't revisit going through that door again. It's too much pain.
But even with that door, we're talking about a mental door, a
A
mental
mental door,
blockage.
exactly.
So the door took away freedom. It took away the right to be free, the right to live, the right to be yourself, to be whoever you are, wherever you are. So if we're taking away that door of no return, that means we're taking away, we're taking back our freedom, our choices. It doesn't mean you have to stay where you're not wanted.
Right.
If you feel like you're wanted there and you're safe and everything is kumbaya, this ain't for you. We're not talking to you because we understand Africa's not for everybody. But I never thought about coming to Africa. That has never been in my thought until it was. I honestly fell in love with the Dominican Republic. I wanted to learn Spanish and be amongst the Spanish brothers and sisters. I really did. I mean, I'm like, how can we do this? We were trying to figure it out. And we plan and God plan. He's like, that's not what I have for you.
Hmm.
So even thinking about coming to Africa, it was scary because we don't know nothing about a country that we were stolen from and that they told us was the the S-hole country, whatever Trump said. All we knew was pot-belly babies with snot and flies all around his nose,
Which was
starving.
false.
That's all we knew. And then we seen the slums and was told that that's the whole continent of Africa. Who the heck want to move to that? Nobody was thinking about that. Nobody wanted that. And then even what they showed of Ghana and everyone going to Ghana, they didn't show nothing pretty. That wasn't appealing. Nobody was too interested in that. But if it was to get away from them, we said, well, let's look into it. Let's figure it out.
Let's work. Let's work it out.
But it wasn't working in my spirit. I can't tell you why, but it wasn't. There was some stuff
No, don't go there.
in my research. And I was like, oh no. Oh yeah. So, but the freedom, see, that door represents snatching away freedom.
Hmm.
So we're going to reverse it. That means we're going to reverse a mindset now.
Right.
We're going to reverse all the myths that they told about us, about Africa, all the myths that they told us,
That's right.
all the lies that they told us.
That's right.
And even if you don't come to Africa, I mean, researching today, you see Black people all over the planet Earth,
That's right. We all over.
all over, and they have towns set up like the Chinese, Africa town, Nigeria town, all over the place, all over the place. You can pick your corner. That's what the door represents. It's a freedom.
There you go. That's
Go
it.
through it.
You hit it.
Stop letting things block you.
Right.
Now, the main thing, of course, is finances. Oh my God. But you figure that part out and go. Don't believe what nobody tells you. Don't see it for yourself. See it for yourself.
But you know, even if, as you mentioned, even if you don't do a physical return and coming, because we said, you know, there would be unrealistic to think that every black person throughout the diaspora is going to move to the continent. I don't think that's realistic. You know, I don't think that's realistic at all. However, you know, that doesn't mean that there cannot be still cannot be a unification, a joint effort. You know, black people, there's like 50 million black people in America alone. That's a nation. We are a nation of people.
Just take Atlanta by itself.
We're a nation in a nation, right? And those who have organized and are organized and who are looking to do just business from across the waters with their organized way and their organization in their business practice, their business efforts, whatever it might be, joining we'll do a piece on this, joining our dollars, which is we got power. Black people got power. We got 1.7 trillion dollar power because it's in our consumership. But when we direct it in the right manner, and if we can direct it 9,000 miles across the waters with a thriving country or nation that looks just like you and I, we still are working hand in hand together. We are still supporting one another. We are still building one another. So we don't have to cross the waters physically. We don't have to do that. But we have to. So now that we're here and we are trying to plant ourselves, here's some of the things that we're coming across. We're getting on one hand, and that's the good hand. On the one hand, the good hand, the reception is beautiful. We personally, we get a lot of the comments and a lot of the we welcome home. We thank you so much for coming. We appreciate you. We want to help you to make sure that your stay here is a good stay. And we get that, I would say, in the 90 percentile of times. However, there is that there is that other side, which is not really much the good hand, that they're not really feeling it.
Where?
They're not feeling our return.
Who?
Those of us in the country. This is not just coming from us. I'm hearing other YouTubers talk about these things here.
But
Right?
again, I think that has something to do with the mind.
That's my
Because
point.
we were feeling like that too.
This is my point. This is the point that I'm leading to. Because just in the last point you made, I was there. I was there. I'm not there no more. By the grace of Allah, I'm not there. I'm like, I got the screwdriver. I'm unscrewing the hinges. I'm taking the door off the hinges. That's my mind and that's my effort. That's my spirit. And I really want to just, I mean, we need to, well, that's something totally different. But so I see the beauty of it. Now that I guess you could say I crossed over, I see the beauty of it. I see the loveliness of it.
Can you suck you in?
And it has. Nairobi saved me. Nairobi saved me. But even more on top of that, again, I will continue to salute and acknowledge Dr. Joyce because having the experience, the traditional cultural experience really, really dug into me. And it opened something in me. By the way, did I tell you what my Maasai name was? Did I tell them last week? My Maasai name, Osaligi. Osaligi, which means hope. It means hope. And I'm grateful for that because it was at a perfect time, right? Anyway, it dug into me and it opened me up, right? To see a fulfillment of a greater promise. And we are, I believe, not just, I'm not talking about us, I'm talking about those of us who have trailblazed, those of us who have already been here, those of us who are on their way, they're coming. This is our season. This is our
Yeah.
time.
And Igu, American King,
Yes,
he said it. The problem is not that we don't have economic power. It's the fact that we will not support each
that's
other,
right.
other brand business, unless we are in a forced condition like segregation.
That's it.
And that's the, you know what,
Thank you, brother. That's
that's the
right.
problem.
That's it.
That's the problem. That's a problem for another video. Because you could do a whole video on that from our experiences ourselves.
Sure thing.
But what we have learned, couple things, and actually part of our growth and development is because we came to Kenya and because we were treated differently here. When we meet locals here, we meet Kenyans here, and we actually build and bond with them, they put like a protective force around us.
Hmm.
And that's something totally different than what we've ever experienced, excuse me, on the continent. They not just put a protection around us, but they bring us to the people that could help.
Mm-hmm.
And their whole energy is to help.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, why? And they're looking at me like, why not?
Mm.
And so it's totally different because even as Black people, we don't come at each other like that. We don't bring a protection around each other like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about, I got to get mine. What I don't care what they doing, I got to get mine.
Mm-hmm.
And so because of how the locals treat us when we got here and the ones that have come around us and built these protections around us, it made me see being in Africa differently.
Mm-hmm.
It was no longer begging again. We leave America begging for them to recognize us as a human. And then we come over here and we're begging, can we please just be a part of your country?
Mm.
Can we please just be a citizen? It changed that. I'm too old to keep fighting for the same old thing. Now the thought is, okay, we're here. Let's come together and create our own force, our own community.
Mm.
It doesn't push nobody else's community out. It just makes our community tight. So now every day it's like we becoming putting out fires. We're being comfort. We are counseling. We are trying to be the sister and the brother
Truly.
here. So when they come to the continent, they're not by themselves.
Mm.
And then we're trying to build and connect businesses. We're trying to build and connect things that will help us to grow and develop and stay here in Kenya. It's a protection.
Mm-hmm.
And so, okay, fine. After we start establishing that and coming together and building businesses and bringing our financial force to the continent, maybe they'll see us as something worthy enough to back,
Mm-hmm.
to say, okay, you guys are the next tribe. You guys are welcome here. You guys are citizens of this country now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe then they'll see the value
Mm-hmm.
in doing that. Because right now it's just people, one here, one there, one here, one there.
Fragmented, man.
Particularly YouTubers that say, we want you to do this and do that. They're like, who are you?
Hey, what you doing? How you helping? How you? What kind of impact are you making? What
Yeah.
change are you?
What value are you
What
bringing?
value are you bringing?
Right.
And it's like, okay, when you think about it, like, yeah, what is it? I mean, just a case in point, you have someone that's been here for 20 years, and in that 20 years time, they only came across two expats. I don't understand that. I don't
Yeah.
understand that.
And
We
they are older people. So for us, when we see our pioneers that came to the continent, our seniors, we want to wrap around them like, oh, mama, come. Make sure they have the resources. Make sure I have a client coming in a couple weeks, and her mom is 70 something years old. So I'm like, okay, let me connect you with our local doctor that we use here. Let me make sure you have this person for the immigration. Let me get this taken care of for you. Let me do that for you. Make sure you have this close to the eye, your ophthalmologist, and because you got a mama with you, man. They done made this journey.
Mhm.
They done came home and seen something that their grandmothers prayed about.
Mm-hmm.
They get to be a part of this exodus.
Mm.
But when you by yourself, no one sees your value. No one sees it because there's no force behind it. There's no substance. It's just you. That's all.
You look just like everybody else. You just blend on.
You just blend. And when you fall down, you fall down. Kiss your own boo boo and keep it moving,
You push it.
or go back to where you came from. But you hear all your life people they tell you go back to Africa if you don't like it here. We get over here and you fall down. It's like, girl, take your butt back
You
home.
know, interesting enough, I'm not gonna call him out. He upset me. He really upset me. He's a gentleman. I believe. I don't know if he's a subscriber or just a viewer. I've seen this gentleman before. Y'all go back over the comments of last Sunday. It was just recent, and I believe I don't know if he's Kenyan. I think he is Kenyan based on his comments, and he all but said, "Y'all go back to America. Don't bring that stuff here. We don't need you. We don't need your help or anything like that." He said, "We don't need you." I'm like, man, why is brother coming at us like that? Because we are lending ourselves for those who, and I don't even remember what the comment was that we said on the thing, but availing ourselves, to those
Oh,
who,
the food thing.
like, this is not new for us. This is what we did in America for those who were, less fortunate, but it doesn't devalue them. And
No,
that was our whole purpose. Like, listen, we see you. Brother told us yesterday it was it's a saying in South Africa. I forget how I pronounce it. I forget the name of the name of the language, but it said it means I see you. I see you. And for those that may know, put it in the comments, please. And that's the core of it. The core of it is we see you. We see your value. We see not just your need, we see you and your value. And we want to be able to extend ourselves. That's just being human. As I told the brother or the person, I don't know, I think he's a provocateur. I'm gonna be honest, I told him that in the comments. But it's just having a heart and a soul, you understand? And so, but it hurts though. My point is that it hurts. You know what I'm saying? We bringing with us, we're not trying to take nothing. We're not trying to take away. We're trying to find our way in so that we can all your hand, my hand, our hands can be held on the plow, in the soil, whatever it is that we have to do, whatever it is to be able to build a reality for ourselves in this world. Now, listen, here's the thing. Now, the handwriting is on the wall, and we need to pay attention. If you are paying attention, and you'll see in the news about how the Western world and the European world and those of the wealthier status, they are getting multiple passports and visas. That's what I'm trying to say. Just as
no
a
multiple passports.
multiple passports, because for them, this is a survival. This is a part of their survival kit because they understand and know that their world is falling. Their world is crumbling. It's coming down. Like the brother commented saying that the judgment is, listen, the adversaries are going to be judged. They're not getting away with none of this stuff. None of it. None of it, and not near one of them are going to get away with. Anyone who has had a hand in our decline and our demise, seemingly demise, because we still here. We baby kids. We ain't going nowhere. We're gonna keep on multiplying. Nonetheless, they see it and they know it. And so they're preparing themselves. And guess where they're going? They're going to the darker nations. They're coming to Africa. They're going to, Mexico. They're going to
Intermarrying so that
right.
their children and their offspring will be able to survive.
They
What's
trying
going
to
on?
get into the hereafter. It ain't gonna work, but they trying to get into the here. But anyway, the point is that a snake is a snake. I'm gonna just leave it right there.
Always.
And so
They never change its marks.
so if we are not if we're not positioning ourselves, this is the point. If we're not positioning ourselves to where we are planted and we are solid and we are grounded and we are rooted, then that door of no return, there's a possibility that it would occur again. We can't let that happen again. It ain't gonna happen again, and it's not gonna happen
You
again.
know, we got a different breed of
Yeah, it's a whole
people
nother.
now. It's a different breed of people. Technology is too. Technology is. So,
This is the school of Adil
and on
Muhammad.
top of that, we ain't turning our other cheek no more. Those
Nah,
days is
nah, this is not going
gone.
down. It's not going
It's
down like that.
gone. I
And
know.
and they're aware of it, and listen, we gotta pay attention. You gotta pay attention. Our brother DJ Bukwali, I love that brother. He's African brother on Instagram. He's not a DJ, music DJ. That's his initial, DJ Bukwali.
Oh,
He's not a DJ. He's a very he's a champion for the cause of African people and the diaspora. But his brother, and so I was listening to one of um his shorts on Instagram, and he showed something. And what he showed was he showed an image of farmers in a line. This was, and he said, "You think they're in a line because of one thing?" He said, "No, this line is a line that they're receiving some synthetic seeds."
don't talk about that.
I'm just going to leave it.
You're gonna take the channel down.
I'm just saying. I'm proving a point. I'm not going to go into that. I'm just proving a point. And I gotta say this part of it though.
Do it in Pig Latin.
I forgot how to do Pig Latin. But 2050, the rate of the population here on the continent of Africa, the rate that is going, it's going to be so many. It's going to be so many Africans, just Africans. I ain't talking about just black people, just Africans. By 2050, I forget the count. It's in the billions. It's like, well, I think it's already 1 point something billion. It's going to be like 2.5 or somewhere around there billion by 2050. That's less than 30 years away. I mean, you blink and we're going to be right there in 2050, right? On the flip side of it, the mortality rate for the counterpart is,
And they've been declining for the last 20 years. They're
so they see it
Mhm.
and they're acknowledging it in their own way. However, we got to watch as well as pray. We got to watch. You can't fall asleep on the watch.
And prepare.
And be prepared, because otherwise they'll come. We know what happened in Elmina, Goree Island, in the Gambia, wherever it was, Zanzibar, Tanzania. They made an interpretation, man. They made a false interpretation that we will receive more gold than we were earning in our very own country, and it never happened. So they took us away, and you know the story, and you know
The
how it
people
goes.
are woke now.
We await.
We have YouTube, first of all.
YouTube is the savior.
So YouTube keeping us woke. So real quick, we have Pauline. The Mpesa name is Lamont Muhammad. Thank you. Who was that? Liz. Yeah. Thank you, Liz, for your beautiful monetary blessing.
Thank you for the love offering.
The
I like love
offering.
I like that. Thank you very much.
And okay. Supposed to be lost in the wilderness for 400 years and come home and feel rejected. Brother Igbu, I agree. That was what we went through last year, for the last 2 years. But we talked about that. We agree.
I missed it. I didn't
He
see
was.
it.
He said it's a hurtful thing being in a country that don't want you, and even though they stole you, they want you over there. They had you working, being slaves and working there anyway. And then when it was done, then they throw you away
Mm-hmm.
and tell you to figure it out with no resources.
Mm-hmm.
And then you come back home and you're not being embraced, you're
Mhm.
not being recognized as being a people of this of the
Mhm.
land.
It's painful.
And again, you feel like you've just been thrown away. You still don't have an identity. You still don't know who you are, what culture, what family you from. You still don't have those things. We went through that our first trimester
Hmm.
in Africa. So now those things still exist. We just choose to work around it because not knowing where your bloodline is not as important as trying to figure out how to live in the country that you choose. I mean, for real.
Hmm.
So talking about you stole us, no, they didn't. And then we came from West Africa. We came over here, but at one point Africa was just one continent. And that's so much clutter trying to figure out where does our blood lies. But you still got to figure out how to live today, how to work with other people, how to how to save your people.
Mm.
That ain't everybody's calling,
Mm.
but for some of us, that's deeply embedded in who we are. And so we can't just say we made it and not try to bring our fellow men over as well.
How don't even sound?
We can't
How that
survive
sound?
by ourselves.
No, we need each
Hello?
other.
We get so excited. I'm like, yeah, we got another family coming, this family coming, that family coming. When we hear the demographics of the family, oh, we got a mama, we got some children.
Hmm.
Oh, cool, there's a brother for you to connect with. These are things that we look for
Hmm.
because everybody else, especially in Kenya, everybody has their own little society, their own little culture. The Arabs are here, the Asians are here, the Indians are here, the Chinese are here, the
Ugandans, the
Nigerians, the
Nigerians.
Ugandans, the Somalis. Everybody is here and they're thriving and they have their community.
Hmm.
And then here it is us saying, hey,
Just like Sister
come on.
Asada saying, listen, if we bring that drama, man. We can't bring that.
And
She's right. We can't bring that
man,
drama
when I
here,
tell you
man.
some of us bring the drama,
Can't bring it. Listen, but you know what? Here's the thing,
like
though.
right now, there's some
Right.
drama. You got to look at it.
But listen, I mean, that's a whole. We're not gonna go into all of that. But my spirit is such that, listen, I didn't ask to leave. I was made to leave.
Mm,
So I don't really need nobody's permission. I mean, I kind of do, but I don't really need nobody's permission to be able to come back to where my ancestors were. I don't need nobody's permission. I don't need anybody's approval. I don't need nobody. I don't need that. This is a God given
right.
right. So that's my spirit. So I can either love you in a very tender way, or I can love you in a tough love type of way. Either way, I'm going to love you. But we here. Like I told the person on the comments, said, listen, we here, man. We don't have no plans of leaving unless they just tell us to daggone leave. You know what I'm saying? But that's why we're talking about this. We got to remove the door of no return.
And I have to shut the door so the mosquitoes can't return in here. Give me 1 minute.
She wanted.
I just looked. I was like, oh, it's mosquito time. They're clocking in.
Anyway, so she trying to get. I wish you could see her. She's struggling. Anyway, so I mean, we don't want to belabor the point, but we know that we have to remove these particular barriers and these obstacles. And a lot of these barriers are just conditions and conditioning that we got to face them. We have to face them on both sides, right? We have to face them. And speaking to the drama, some of the drama is the fact that, like we did, our last intimate conversation, is like we can't come to Africa thinking that it is the ultimate solution for our problems. We can't run from ourselves. We have to really, do a thorough self-assessment, right? And when we think in terms of coming to Africa as best we can, as best she's struggling trying to get back, as best we can, we we need to really like figure this thing out before we make that move. And I like a brother, he said, it's not so much where you're coming from or leaving from, it's where you running or leaving or going to, something on those lines there. I know
What?
I messed
You
that
done
whole
jacked
thing up.
that up.
Yeah, I'll
It's
come back next week with it right the right way, but you'll get what I'm saying. You'll get what I'm saying. So it may not be the fit, is what I'm saying. That's my point. Based on knowing our circumstances, knowing our internal battles and struggles and things of that nature there, it may not at the moment, may not be the right time. It may not be the right fit because will carry with us. And these are the things that will cause us to remain fragmented. The unifying and the union between us has to start with being on the same accord here, mentally and here. If we're not there, you know, together, it's never going to happen. That's why the other ethnics groups they can come together and they can establish themselves in a particular way because there's a regardless of whatever the disagreements might be at the end goal, everybody's on in agreement with the end goal. We have to make a reality for ourselves, and that's those that are coming behind us. We're laying the foundation, and so that's how we have to think. And so Africa is not, as I'm learning in my understanding, Africa is not the 54 countries. Africa is the traditional values. It's the value system. And that in most cases, no matter where you go, whatever country you go to on Africa, you'll find somewhere there is a single thread of value in that they share. May not be exactly the same, but it's very, very close. And so for us of the diaspora, our returning and coming back is returning to a particular value system. And I won't go any further on that. So I'm really I'm that's really that's I emptied out pretty much. I don't really have any much
you
more.
don't have no more tears.
That's why the black man don't show his tears because the black woman, come on now. You gotta
It's okay.
I'm good though. I'm all right. I'm not tripping. I'm just joking around, but it is what it is. It's a baptismal.
It's
I've
the
been
cleansing.
that's what I know. It's
You're
a
going through a
baptism.
transition.
Exactly.
So you're going through a transitional phase, and it's all right.
It's all good. So if do we have comments that we want to before we, I know
But Igbu says he's sick and tired of YouTubers coming to Africa, saying all the good stuff while they there to get those likes
and get
up,
those hikes
and
up.
then they leave.
Then they bounce. They're like, well, what happened? What was all what happened to all the good stuff you was talking about? You gone.
Hmm. Well, I guess that's why y'all like us, because we never got nothing good to say.
We do. We always
We're
got
like,
good. We share the good
oh,
stuff.
guess what?
See, here goes some good stuff.
Yep. Remember last week when we were talking about the street needing to be cleaned? It was kind of a mess. It was ugh, on our walk. So somebody must be watching us. And when we went for a walk the other day, they cleaned the streets.
It was a joyful moment for her.
I was so happy.
We were in mid
Because I was
stride.
like,
She
this is
just
my favorite place. And why they don't have street cleaners? And why is there trash all up on the side of the road? And every day I'm like, is there a mayor? Who can I write? I gotta write someone. Then I'm like, well, maybe we can get some expats out and we'll do a cleanup day. And then we'll clean up all over here. And then like maybe we'll just do it every time I walk, I was like, yeah, I'll just go get the girls and we get gloves and like we did at COVID time and just clean this whole and then I turned around and looked and was like, ain't nobody bending over doing all that.
so,
So we're just gonna deal with it. But the other day, it was clean.
and listen, when we say this, it's not to offend. It's not to offend. It's not that. It's not that at all. It's not to, you know, it's not an attack. It's not, it's for us, it's like we're showing our appreciation for being hosted and and ownership, right? We're taking ownership of it's just like it was in the States. You live in your community, man, make your community a decent and safe place to live. We ain't gotta leave our community. to go somewhere and just let it continue to fail and fall. No, take ownership of it. Take ownership of where you live. The men get together. If it's not safe, make it safe. 1995, 1 million or more black men came. That's not forgotten. That shouldn't be. We need to revisit that because we made a pledge. The pledge was we're going to do what we need to do to shoulder our responsibility. And that was viewed throughout the entire world. It wasn't just Washington, D.C. It wasn't just the 50 states. It's 50 states, right? In America.
52.
Whatever, however many stations in America. It was broadcasted and seen and viewed throughout the entire world. And even though it was pertinent and it was more directed toward the black men there, us that were there, but this transcends geographical boundaries. It's wherever. It's wherever.
Whatever.
And so when we say these things, it's not to offend. Please don't take that spirit. It's not that.
They're
It,
not offended. They know we mean it in the best light. We love where we are. We love
I
this
don't know. The
place.
brother, he was saying that, he used to make the comment like, we don't need your take. He said, take it back to America
Yep.
where black people are on Section 8 and food stamps. I was like, dang.
He said all that.
He
You must have
said,
deleted it.
no, I ain't delete nothing. I want everybody to see it. Go look at it and see it. You can see it for yourself.
Let me tell you, like sometimes now our new weapon is, oh, did they just put that in the comments? Mm-hmm. They gonna get them. That's my new weapon. I don't get mad or nothing. So someone told me stop touching my face, Sister Cheryl. I'm waiting for somebody to get them. I
They
don't
was,
understand why y'all didn't get them by now. I'm like, tell me I'm make my skin ugly.
no, I didn't say that.
What do you think?
He said,
Like, dog didn't even get mad. I said, that's all right. Somebody gonna get them.
yeah, it's all good. So anyway, listen, we appreciate uh being here. We really do. We really do. And I mean, from coming from Rwanda now, I mean,
Brother Charles said, stop talking about his place.
no, I love it. This is a good thing. The fact that it was so clean, good gracious, it was a beautiful thing. It was good to see
It
that.
was, yeah, it was hard to get used to place. Like even when we were in Rwanda, we see someone. It was weird because in Rwanda they'll be, you'll see people just throw trash on the street, and I'm like, why did you just do that? Don't you know where we are? I'm talking about locals. But the next day that trash is gone. They're like, somebody's gonna come clean it up. So it
Guaranteed.
wasn't like they had the concept of take your trash to the dumpster because you really can't even find trash bins or dumpsters. They don't have that all around. It's just that they're going to have the cleanup people, which is like the biggest workforce over there, come the very next day or later on that day and clean that mess right on up.
Hmm.
That's how they do it. So here, if we just have, because I see trash cans around. There's trash bins. Yesterday morning, I seen the man when went on our walk, and I was admiring how clean it was. He took a bottle and threw it
Well,
next to the flowers.
I
He
I
took
was
the
there.
bottle. We were walking,
I didn't see
and he
that.
took the bottle and threw it
That was today.
when we went walking the other day.
Oh, the other. I didn't see that.
And I looked like, no, he didn't just throw that bottle after they just cleaned my street up. And the bottle landed next to the trash can.
Come on, man. We got to do better. We got to do better. We have to do better. We do. We do. And we will. And we will. Inshallah. So,
So
so
thank you guys
what's the
for
count on the likes? I know that one count, Pauline said that there was at that time 87 on, and it was only 50. It was 51 likes, which is kind of closing the margin down a little bit. But where are we?
Mhm.
All right, don't worry about that. It's okay. It's all right. All right. So
Thank you guys for last week. All those that sent in financial blessings,
love offering.
love offering. I don't know. No, love offering is the church.
Okay, what's wrong with church?
We ain't at church.
It's okay to be at church.
Those financial blessings is my word. And thank you guys so much for that. Not only does it help us to continue on, but it actually kind of blesses our soul. Like they like us. They really like us.
So if they don't like this.
And they give us a penny.
I
I know
take
what you do
that.
when you have a bad waitress, but you want them to know that they bad, so you don't just leave them nothing. You
All
at
right,
least give
Sister
them a
Joe said,
penny.
all right, 72. Oh, Malachi 60 said, okay, so 72.
But Brother Malachi on?
Yeah, salam alaikum, brother Malachi. You snuck in here, brother. Good to see you. Another FOI. Salute to
Oh, we
you,
got a
sir.
bunch of them
Yeah,
on
man,
today.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Thank you so very much. Good to see you, brother. Give greetings to the family for us as well.
So thank you guys so much for everything,
We're grateful.
everything. And we hope you guys are going to come out next week. Listen,
We're gonna do it. We're
put
gonna
the flyer up. We still have some availability. Go ahead and get your tickets, get your space. Kenyan folk, American folk, those that's coming in and traveling, whoever, come in and mix and mingle. We want to
network,
learn from
network.
each other. We
Yeah,
want to network. We want to
network.
build.
Right.
We want to something to gap.
Close,
Close,
bridge,
Bridget,
but we want to build relationship.
build it.
That's the thing. We want to build
Build.
relationship
Mm-hmm.
um across the board, wherever.
Mm-hmm.
Build relationships, whether it's in business, whether it's in health, whether it's just cultural, whatever it may be. We want to build the relationships because, you know, we're on the battlefield. I got to know who's next to me.
Me.
I already know you there, but on my left side, you gonna be on my right.
I'm on both sides.
All right,
Ain't nobody infiltrate.
He's my ride or die, right?
I try to get him. He be having nightmares. I be like, tag me in, tag me in.
Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Anyway, thank you, family. We appreciate you. Oh, so don't forget, hey, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. Uh, the residential tourist is there. You could just,
Y'all ready to come? A dealer's relocation
dealers
services.
relocation services.
Everybody stop coming in May. It's not enough notice for me. You're stressing me. Come in June and beyond. But we ain't letting nobody else come to Kenya in May. We're at this max. A dealer's relocation services at gmail.com.
Yes. So yeah, brother PT, yes, I think I saw that late, but we just did that. We
What?
just invited uh someone to the event. Everyone, not everyone can't come, but those who are, let me say this, for those who are just impossible to come because you're not here, we're gonna live stream it. We're gonna live stream it.
Mhm.
So you'll tune in. It's gonna be a little early though, because it'll be about 1 p.m. our time. So it's gonna be pretty early. So I don't know. We'll live stream it.
But you seen Sister Anna all the way in California.
Yeah,
She was like, whatever, 5 o'clock in the morning, it don't matter. I'm here.
that's gonna
Bam.
be way early.
She was like, bam. She was right there.
We'll live stream it, and then it'll be available. You'll be able to see for those who are not, of course, that are not here. So without anything, I don't have any. I don't really. I think we've exhausted everything that we wanted
Hmm.
to say. I hope it was clear. I hope that it was something that was
I
said
hope
that,
it wasn't boring.
well, yeah, hopefully not, but I hope it was something of good, and I hope there was some insight and some way of enlightenment. If there was any offense, it was not, charge it to the head, not the heart. It's definitely never our intent to offend in any way. We just want to be found in service in in a good way, right? So with that, look for us in another intimate conversation this week, God willing. And we're going to take another look deep inside Nairobi to show you what Nairobi's the John. Nairobi is
It's
it.
a joint. Yo, man,
we
it's the
should,
joint up over here, man.
we want
Nairobi
to show you some other
be the
spot
joint.
in Nairobi. We'll plan to do that this week as we move forward for Sunday at our networking event. So, dealers relocation services at gmail.com, the residential tourists at the residential tourists, Instagram, and the residential tourists on Facebook. Come on, man, join us. We love to have y'all. All right. Thank you so much. Peace and blessings.